Is the lowly bouncy castle still a viable part of your inventory? In other words, is it worth it to have a bounce house? Um, in today's market, we have reached the pinnacle of innovation in the inflatable industry where we have so many different types of units out there, whether it be obstacles or combos or interactives, water slides, dry slides, you name it, it's out there. Everybody has seen them all, and everybody has gone through it. And that leaves us with the lowly bounce house, the original square, sometimes square castle that kids get in and bounce in, and it's enclosed. You guys have seen it, you know what they are. And the question is, are they still uh, a valuable part of your inventory? Let's start with a little history of the bounce house. The bounce house, the original bouncing pad, is the first inflatable that was introduced way back in the 1950s. So without getting too heavy into the history of it, it began kind of crude as just a pad without walls or any kind of safety or anything like that, and it was just something that people bounced on. Um, and then it morphed from there into an enclosed unit with kind of a bubble around it so that the floor would inflate and also the interior would inflate and you would actually be inside it, an inflated area. But that was too hot, so they changed the sides with netting and created a structure so that you would have safety and a roof to keep the sun off, and everything else is history. So the bounce house was born, and it's been a staple for parties and festivals and events for literally 70 years. It's been around. It's grown exponentially and has become something much bigger than the inventor obviously thought that it would be, and has become a staple. It is not going anywhere. It's not doing anything now. They have added other things. The same company that invented the bounce house invented the water slides, and all the other things have kind of morphed from those kind of things, obstacles and combos and interactives and all the other games and stuff. And this the industry has tried to invent and reinvent the bounce house over and over and over again, but we've kind of solidified into a group of different units that mean what they are for the industry and have basically become the foundation. And bounce house is at the center of that. The situation with bounce houses is that they've shrunk just a little bit. They used to be a little larger, and now they do offer some that are larger. Um, and the the safety features have been at, like I said, such that they've kind of morphed and changed so that they're different than what they used to be. But are they something that are usable in all of your events and all your things? And the short answer is no, they're not. To be honest with you, bounce houses are terrible for anything other than a young kids. And the reason why is the propensity for them to bounce in such a ways that they will collide into each other, and that's what the majority of injuries occur from, was of kids bouncing into kids. If you overload it, that becomes even more. Um, there's just a ton of ways for kids to kind of collide in those things because they're designed for multiple kids to be in one area. And if you have larger kids in a unit with smaller kids, you know what happens. The bigger ones run over the little ones. So, in my estimate, the bounce houses are more suited for younger kids, and the age range is such that they have to be a little more than a toddler because they have to have their balance. and they have to be a little younger than a middle schooler because they can't have the size, and obviously kids are getting bigger sooner. So early elementary school is what you're looking at for the age range in here. And that is a very, very limiting age for, something that you're going to pay, possibly thousands of dollars for. It creates a situation where, are you going to get the play out of it? The problem is that also they're exclusively dry units, and I'm not, again, not talking about combos, water slides, or anything like that. I'm talking about the bounce house. They're not designed to have water on them, and in fact, they become dangerous if you put water on them because they become more slippery, and that causes more kids to pile on top of each other and possibly injure each other. So they're not designed for the superheat. They're really not designed for adverse weather at all because the roofs are not weatherproof. Sun uh, creates a beating situation where it's so hot inside the unit that there's no way for the kids to cool down. It literally has tons of problem. So why don't we just get rid of the bounce house? And the reason why is because the bounce house is still the staple of the industry. And there's tons of what you need it for. The bounce house is used as a low cost option, a staple option, and a option for younger kids. So what you need to do is you need to market those things in your area. If you have a small backyard, you are not going to get a giant combo in there even a water slide or something like that. But you could get a small bounce in there. You're not going to appease younger kids with something that is so large or scary that they're not going to want to ride on it. And obviously, if somebody is looking for something that's inexpensive to add to a party, not to become the centerpiece of a party, the bounce house offers the ability to do that. Yeah, it creates a situation where you can uh, have a price point for just about anybody. Now, this is how I suggest that you market your bounce houses. You market them just as that, as toddler fun. You market them as a low price option, and you market them for smaller areas or smaller yards or somewhere that you can. You can get a bounce house in two parking spots. You cannot get any other unit out there other than games or something like that in such a small space. So it literally creates an option for you that is not anywhere else. Um, Bounce houses need to be monitored, uh, as do all units. So, but the cool thing is that you can control the flow by having a person at the door, letting somebody in, letting somebody out, and creating a situation where you can control it. Um, a lot of the obstacles and things like that, unless you let the kids all the way off the other end, it's hard to know whether or not they're still in the unit. So bounce houses have a very, very integral part of it. And what you need to do is make sure that you have the bounce house that stands out above and beyond everybody else. Now, the the rough part about this is if you theme, you are stuck. If you have a Disney carriage, a princess carriage bounce house or whatever, it is literally a Disney princess carriage bounce house, and it will not go with a dragon party or a pirate party or tons of other things. So you need to be very, very careful when you do theme it, but you do need to make sure that you're setting your bounce houses apart from other people's bounce houses and creating a situation where you'll be able to draw uh, attention to it, and as at the same time you're you're making sure that you're standing out and not creating something that is so limited that they can only use it during certain times. Another thing you could do is buy the bounce houses that are used for the seasonal stuff. If you've seen the big pumpkin bounces or the Easter egg bounces or the winter snowman bounces, those are good as long as you can use them for a season and not just um, one time. I do want to caution you there. If you get a pumpkin bounce, you're not going to use that thing any other time except for during the Halloween season. If you went with something like a zombie instead, you may get more use out of it. So it may be something that you would look at again, theming your unit, but not limiting your unit. Same with the Easter egg basket. Why wouldn't you go with something that is more springish, like flowers or something like that? Then you can kind of transfer it over to a girl party or a princess party or just about anything, and at the same time, you know, really hone in on that Easter party. Fourth of July, again, Fourth of July you can use year round as long as it is not themed with, Fourth of July stamped all over it. If it's American flag colors or something like that, literally goes from Memorial Day, Labor Day, it goes, across the board. You can use that for anyone that's patriotic, anybody that's in the military, any kind of military homecoming party. Tons of different ideas, tons of different ways to use that. So keep those in mind. The bounce house is absolutely deserves a place in your inventory. So make sure that you do, focus on that and that you still maintain your bounce house and your bounce house in your thing. Keep it away from big kids, keep it away from big crowds, and I think that you'll be fine. Also, make sure that you're theming it in such a way that it draws attention, but it does not lock it into one specific event or another. I want to thank you guys for your time. I want to let you know that we're all in this together and that if there's anything I could do to help you guys, please don't hesitate to ask. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up, let everybody know about us, and we'll see you on the next video.